What do you make of Trump's foreign policy in the Middle East? How do you view the man? Is he a blessing for the Middle East, or is he a mixed blessing for the Middle East? And I'm saying that because it seems to me that the same hand that gathers, it is the same hand that scatters. And what I mean by that is that the contradiction of Trump's foreign policy are now laid bare for everyone to see. On one hand, he launched what he called the Board of Peace Initiative, what some refer to as a bold initiative to broker a peace settlement, a lasting peace settlement between the Israelis and the Palestinians. On the other hand, he has plunged headlong into a brutal war with Iran. The question is simple: can you wage war and broker peace at the same time? The evidence suggests not. The Gaza peace plan was already fragile to start with, requiring a very delicate diplomacy to get everyone around the table and build trust, implement confidence building measures, and win the trust of regional powers. Yet the war with Iran has diverted America's attention. It has diverted America's resources and credibility. Their credibility is on the line. Arab states that were supposed to be partners in peace, in the peace process now, are pressured, find themselves pressured to take sides. Do you go with Iran, or do you go with America? In a conflict that is very destabilizing for the region. But Trump has claimed that he wanted to pacify that region. Do you remember all the claims about demands for the the Nobel Peace Award that he felt he deserved? Some would argue that Iran could reduce the influence over Hamas and Hezbollah, Iran's proxies in the Middle East, indirectly supporting peace. That is the contrary argument. But that is speculation at best. In reality, the war inflames tensions, hardens positions, and undermines the trust that is needed for negotiations. Instead of complementing the peace initiative, I would like to contend the Iran conflict has all but derailed it. That is my take. Tell me what you think about it. What does this say about the personality and leadership of Trump? Because this war bears the stamp, the mark of Trump's personality on it, and I'll come to it later on. It reveals a foreign policy that is reactive than strategic, fragmented rather than coordinated. Yes, I don't know if I should call him bold, but maybe reckless. But boldness without coherence is not leadership. It is improvisation at best. To pursue peace while escalating war is to send mixed signals, and that is reflective of Trump's personality, which I'll delve into quite shortly. It exposes a lack of sequencing, a failure to align military action with diplomatic goals. There's no coordination. You don't see a plan or strategy or rationale behind the actions that Trump is taking. In the end, the Board of Peace risks becoming a casualty of the war with Iran. And Trump's contradictory, as we speak now, European allies, Western allies in general, have shunned Trump's appeal, his plea for their assistance to secure the Strait of Hormuz. He has been shunned by Western allies because they were not consulted in the first place. And Trump's contradictory approach raises a sobering question. Is America projecting strength or simply confusion? The world is watching, and the verdict will not be very good. But finally, America's approach to this war is a mirror of Donald Trump's personality. What is it all about? Let me tell you something. I was on record as soon as Donald Trump was elected that the one thing I fear about his presidency, because obviously you know that when America sneezes, everyone catches the cold. One thing I feared was instability, because the man rules is chaos on 2 feet. He rules by chaos. He's a chaotic man. Rather than having some plan, he might justify it, call it the weave, and call himself the disruptor. But he is just a man of chaos and confusion. He's impulsive, doesn't rely on any plan or strategy. He goes with the feeling. It's like he governs by instinct. He also is an immature person. We have to confront that. His distractors would be forgiven for calling him a toddler. They would say, we're being led by a toddler. It's a person who's quite impressionable. He is behaving like a billionaire who is bored. He was born in a rich family. He lived the good life, the life of the rich and famous, inherited money he got it on a silver platter, and ran to the ground casinos, some of the most difficult businesses to run to the ground. Trump successfully ran to the ground. You have to possess special talent and you have to make a special effort to run a casino to the ground, because those are addiction driven kind of businesses. And he left a trail of debt behind those and unpaid contractors and what have you. It is quite clear for me that contrary to MAGA and gullible supporters, Trump did not run into office to put America first or reduce the grocery prices. Instead, Trump is creating conditions that makes it so difficult, if not impossible, to achieve the promises that he made to his base, and namely putting America first, ending the forever wars, and focusing on affordability. It's like the guy just woke up one day and said, I've done it all, but I've never wielded power. I've never experienced what it is to be at the helm of a very powerful country like America. Call on, tweet and send Ramaphosa running all over the place, coming to the White House and getting humiliated. Those African leaders who are naive or not strategic enough to preserve their dignity, why would you run to a man that is so unpredictable and is said all manner of things? And he just enjoys, it's like a sadist. He enjoys inflicting pain to see the weak. He thrives on inflicting pain on people that are weak, hardship, bullying weaker states and oppressing the weak and vulnerable migrants. Yes, they are entitled to deal with immigration. I believe so, even here in South Africa. But it must be done in a humane. These are still people. It must be. We can't compromise the law. Unfortunately, we've got a government that thinks nothing about the law. I believe South Africa needs to be strong in immigration, but you're still dealing with people. These are human beings. You need to treat people in a dignified way. There's a difference between enforcing the law and dehumanizing people. So that's the kind of man. Do you remember the 12 days of war with Iran, the most recent war before this one? What happened? Trump was resolved that he was not going to join Israel. And guess what? When Israel started bombing, like a toddler, he said, I want in on the action. I want to have the fun. Remember, he's just been reported. Actually, I watched the video wherein he said they have bombed an island next to Iran, where I think it's a strategic military space for Iran. And he said, we have bombed the place. It's no longer functional, but we might just bomb it just for fun. And let me tell you something about that. That's the one justification for this war from Trump that I believe. That is the actual reason. Forget oil, forget all manner of things. He is doing this for fun. It's a bored billionaire who has had it all. But one thing that he didn't have was access to, as a sadist and a bully, access to this massive power of the American states and military to just mete out punishment and pain to weak adversaries, weaker adversaries. That's what seems to be happening. He then went in on the action in Iran under the pretext of going to bomb nuclear weapons, which surprisingly, which he came out of that bombing saying, we have obliterated Iran's nuclear weapons, but just a few months later, he is there in Iran, and nuclear weapons are still part of the justification. So this is being done for fun. The chaotic manner in which this war is being persecuted, and the lack of rationale and reliance on gut feel and instinct is part of Trump's personality. And whilst he and Bibi are having fun throwing bombs, unfortunately, this is a war that is coming at human cost, especially even the life of American soldiers. Let me tell you one thing. Unlike the ANC, I'm not crazy for Iran. I don't understand the rationale of our partnership with Iran. We are not the same. I'm not a jihadist. I'm a Christian. I don't have a rationale, and South Africa is largely a Christian nation. We are. So whilst I respect other nations and Iran, we are so different. We don't have big trading relations with Iran. I don't see the rationale, except that maybe some few crooked ANC comrades and leadership are benefiting out of this relationship, the way they are persecuting the war. But that is my take on Trump's approach to the Middle East. What do you say? The same hand that is gathering appears to be the same hand